Welcome, guys. This is the DRL Iceberg, made by me and Tony.
Yo, what's good, guys? I'm Tony. I think I'm a five-time champion, maybe six-time. I don't fucking know. I made this with Dino.
So this is layer number 1, which is more recent events within DRL. Starting off with a recent Season 4 COT and Cup scandals with the championship. For the COT championship, there was multiple overtimes, and Tony won the race, but it was very indecisive with drivers because of the amount of overtimes and people wrecking. And after that, there was a little bit of an argument and stuff, and Tony got the championship revoked and then gave it to Ed. So Ed would have won it, but then a few other stuff happened within the next thingy that made Tony the champion again. But this Cup championship scandal is whenever I believe Tony accidentally forced his way up through the field on the last lap. Didn't win the race though, but he forced his way up on the last lap, and they got mad at him. They, as in Ed and Banana, they got mad at him for doing that. Okay, so the stuff with Banana, which is also the second thing on the recent events, there was just a bunch of stuff between arguments and fights and a bunch of other stuff. Most recently, it happened today with something stupid. But yeah, it's been since the beginning of the year, ever since he made a new league, which caused one of the most recent events that's is almost second to last on this list. So we'll get into that later. So the shutdown references when DRL was just put on a hold for a little while, almost like a month, I would say, because nobody showed up, mainly because of another league, took all our drivers and nobody would race anymore, which also caused something else on this recent event, but it just led to the shutdown and more focused on other stuff instead of racing at that time. So the revival of DRL with new cars, we are currently using 1987 cars. I just like them because they look like street stocks and all that, but we're just reviving the league with one series, Winston-style points for a couple weeks of racing or whatever. It's gonna be fun, mainly because certain people aren't there to screw it up and complain and stuff, So it's gonna be a good new era for DRL with the new cars and everything. The setups are really good. So yeah. So the season 5 started August 9th of this year with the Clash. We did it at the Texas quarter mile. It was actually a pretty fun race. One driver decided to kind of crash out during the first 7 laps and then went behind the wall and left. I don't know who he is, But yeah, we have started out season 5 with the new cars and everything, like said before. And yeah, the Clash was really fun. Seb actually ended up winning that race. We'll get into that later. So the owner burnout and less races references how not a lot of people are showing up, and I just felt burnout, and I just didn't want to do that many races anymore. And if we did do races, there would always be something, people getting made fun of or arguments or something. But we got rid of those people now, so it's fine. You should join, wink, wink. But yeah, it just was not a really good stretch. I just didn't want to do a lot of races. So that's what led to the shutdown. Same with some other stuff. So the DRL split references whenever another league was made by a specific person and multiple people flocked over to that league and was racing in that league more than DRL a lot, which led to the shutdown, burning out of doing the races and all that. And props to Tony for his beautiful thing he made. I don't even know what it doesn't even have the correct sides or anything, but give him some props. Okay, so the conveyor belt is more, it was there for a while, way back when, but we brought it back for Daytona, and here's Tony. He hit it, and very brutal accident. There was also another accident like that, where he hit the inside wall head on, which, it was kind of scary, especially because I was also in that wreck too, and I hit the conveyor belt, and I'm pretty sure I went flipping. It was pretty violent wrecks. Now we get into layer number 2, which is still very known within DRL. Starting off layer number 2 with the Redline Overglaze. Redline was really overglazed in Season 3. As you're looking in the background, he was voted for Rookie of the Year for every single series.
Pumu update references the major update Pumu Talladega had during the end of Season 4 of the Dino Racing League. It played a huge role for the playoffs. Revamp brought many new tracks, and it also changed the entire Pumu setup completely, and was a huge part into the end of Season 4, transitioning into Season 5. Wall pops and wall grabs are like a huge cancer to racing, you know. It references when a car has some contact with a wall, it gets basically stopped at 400 G's, goes 220 to like 0, and basically gets grabbed by the wall. And yeah, it has been a huge issue that has decided many wins, taken away many wins, and caused many wrecks. Steering damage / steering locks are yeah, they're like a pain, okay? So when a car gets damaged, especially in the new Puma update, you can't really turn that car because the wheels are all little bent. Also steering locks references the lock that old Puma used to have, where you could just autopilot it, basically autopilot a car, or just keep it where it is, you could turn it steering lock, and also accelerate steering lock. It was pretty useful on the super speedways, especially,
Dino's Discord ban references whenever early this year in January I got banned on my main account for 2 years for something, I don't forget what it was, so probably something stupid, but I got banned for 2 years. So I had to transfer the ownership to another person, which was fine. But yeah, that's pretty much it with the ban. So the blowover setup scandal is when people would change their blowovers mid-race to an amount way egregious from when it was originally set, which would cause bigger wrecks, more lag, and was overall more of a nuisance problem. And we had to make it a rule because of how many people were doing it, and some people did break the rules.
Question of the day references the daily question that Dino posts in the Question of the Day channel. However, the questions can be a bit, seesaw for real. Mostly because Dino keeps suggesting the worst Question of the Days ever. So yeah. Season 5 Clash win was an utter embarrassment to the sport. Okay? So you got Seb here, everyone's favorite little Seb, okay? Oh, sweet little Seb. Okay, we're all here on the Texas quarter mile for the Clash, Season 5 Clash. Next thing I know, it's the final lap. I'm leading. I do a little drifty drift, Next thing I know, I get like on my side, man, cause Seb over here dive bombed me, and I lost the thing. I got third, and he won the Season 5 Clash of the Texas quarter mile.
So Quincy references a new driver for Season 5 in DRL. He's a really good friend of me and a little bit of Tony. We just mess around and stuff, but he's an up-and-coming driver within DRL and got second in the Daytona 500.
Ben references the number 88 Chevrolet driver for Krypton Motorsports. Good friend of Quincy and a young and upcoming rookie in the Dino Racing League. Maybe kind of dumb too, by the way.
Pokey references my own cat, Pokey. You see in the background, I added a few photos. But Pokey, he is 5 years old, and he has his own car, number 27, in the Dino Diecast League. And yeah, he's just a little fluffy critter. He's kind of dumb, runs in the walls and stuff, but overall he's pretty cuddly and pretty cute. Fred Bread Froggy references Fred Froggy, who is a F1 driver, NASCAR driver, and coming up in the lower divisions of NASCAR with sprint cars and late models, and is going to make his ARCA debut soon. He's also made GT free starts and a couple wins in the Dino Cup Series with a championship under his belt, and about 5 or 6 wins in the Formula 1 series. He also likes to eat bread at his winning celebrations. We are now into Layer 3, which are pretty well known.
Hassie is the evil twin brother of Ozzy, who was definitely not made up by me in a random call, on Wednesday, May 31st, 2026. He is the evil twin brother of Ozzy, as mentioned before, and he only shows up when Ozzy is not there, and he also wrecks the field a lot. So, yeah.
So the new series added references when DRL in the beginning of Season 3 introduced 3 new series, that being Gen 4, Xfinity, and Orca. Orca was a fun race at that time, but in Season 3 became a full-time series, making a series total up to 6. Lawsuits references when you can still do this. You can sue people for points, fake money, for charters, and other things. It's pretty much just a courtroom. Pretty much all it is. Tony Schemes references the egregious amount of weird sponsored schemes Tony has throughout his career in the Dino Racing League. Internet issues references all of the lag issues and getting kicked because of lag and stuff, and you can enjoy this weird thing I found. The wreck clip scandals references when I would have people like clip wrecks or finishes and stuff like that, and they would not send them at all because I would have to make the YouTube short video like after a race, after all the clips are uploaded and stuff, and there would be a couple clips missing, wreck clips, like very violent wreck clips that were obviously missed at that time because I was on the phone and it was really hard to clip races and stuff. And yeah, it was kind of a scandal because one person would not give me the clips half of the time. The Nevada scandal is kind of weird. He is, I believe, a 12, 13-year-old kid who have had access to Discord, and he's really weird, and he's always trying to have contact with me, and even saved a drawing of somebody, or not somebody, but a drawing of my cat that was made by somebody else, and he has, like, something weird. He really likes my cat a lot, and it's kind of weirded me out over a long while. He did it for a couple months, kind of stopped now. He tried to get in contact with me a few times, but it's kind of weird.
The Ed flips into the lake at Daytona incident was a late Season 4 wreck that happened at Daytona. What happened was, I kind of love tapped Ed, I kind of love tapped his quarter panel. He got sideways to the point where he was, still on me, but also spinning backwards. At the end of turn number 2, he got airborne. He hit the catch fence, bounced off it all the way into the infield, where he proceeded to accidentally back into the lake. He would drown, however, we did revive him in the infield. So, yeah, my bad, I had lag,
Ozzy flipping on top of somebody references at Coca-Cola Super Speedway, Season 4, Truck Series race. Ozzy, I believe, got turned somehow, flipped it, was somehow, like, perfectly straight and aligned on top of me when I crossed the line of Ferris. He, I believe, got second. He was vertically, well, not vertically, but he was perfectly still mid-air and finished that race like that. And it was a photo finish like that. It's pretty insane. The first ever Phoenix race was the inaugural Phoenix race. It was a Gen 4 race in season number 4 where Banana got it done and won that race. It was part whenever the new update came and the new track was added, and that was the inaugural race where Banana won. The weekend triple header sweep is whenever Banana won COT Kansas, Cup Kansas, and Gen 4 Atlanta. Starting that race week at Atlanta, he was the first ever driver to sweep a triple header, as it was kind of a weird circumstance to get a triple header. Waffle references a really phenom driver in Season 2, a little bit in Season 3 is a little bit stagnant. He came in Season 4, won a few times, but he was a 2-time champion, COT and Cup Championship winner. He's from Slovakia, and he could only race on Sundays due to his time zone, and he dominated in COT and Cup, and even got a couple of Daytona 500. I believe he has a Daytona 500 in Cup. The fastest ever race was 15 laps at Pocono in the Truck Series, won by Banana. It was finished in just around 13-14 minutes, was actually breaking the record of a 45-lap race at Bristol, which we'll get into later on in the Iceberg. Chill Froggy Motorsports references the team that was a startup team that was originally called Plushy Motorsports, Super Motorsports or something, and was changed to Chill Froggy Motorsports within around Season 2, Season 3, it would have phenom drivers, Waffle, Plushy Jr., Dino, me for an example, and even Banana for a few races before he went to Krypton. They had mustered a lot of championships, a lot of wins, and have produced probably the best drivers in DRL to this point. Now we get into the somewhat known of DRL in layer number 4. The Waffle retirement references around season 3 or something, when Waffle was really pissed off over performance stuff and stuff with his family and making him not be able to race a lot of races. He ended up leaving, well, not really leaving, just leaving participation in the races. And whenever Waffle retired, it pretty much marked whenever good drivers were gone within DRL. There was some sparks here and there of other drivers we'll get into in the future.
Janky Junkie. Oh man, the good times, you know. Janky Junkie references the team that Tony had throughout season number 1, not season number 1, 2 to 3. His team mostly consisted of himself, Driz, and Goofy, and as well as a roster of rotating drivers who came in and out of the team. Janky Junkie would be one of the most successful teams in DRL, and the most unsuccessful teams in DRL. They had very janky cars, and very goated, by the way. The DRL quiz references a Google form that Tony suggested Dino to make. It consisted of 30 questions all about the history of DRL that the entire server was asked to take. And by the way, not to brag or anything, but I scored 5 out of 30, which was the highest score. So yeah, y'all suck. The 6 wide finish was an abomination to all of road racing, okay? Well, that's just my opinion, actually, but everyone liked it, actually. The 6 wide finish is the 320th race of DRL, and was basically like a whole special thing for Dino, because, 32, he has to win the 302nd race. He did not, enact this or anything. It was all Plushy, by the way. Plushy, who was wrecking me the entire race, ensure Dino won the 302nd race. Dino did not do any of this. It was all Plushy. And this was at Daytona too, in the Cup race. So, got all of these things coming together. I managed to stay up front the entire time. And then, right at the line, this mother man, he spun me, okay? He spun me right at the line. And I knew he would do this. So I went backwards at the exact same time he spun me. So I would not lose any momentum. And I came across that line in second backwards after dominating the entire race with the entire field working behind. A 6 wide photo finish between me and Dino. That Plushy, you fucking working man. Like that abomination. Not even an abomination. The abnormalcy. The inherent idiocracy of Plushy. No wonder that guy doesn't race anymore. You know why? Hey. Between you and me, I put some pills in his water, and he ain't alive anymore, man.
The Robux payouts references when end of season 3 into season 4, we had Robux payouts where you could get specific amounts of Robux per series if you were a champion or if you were a runner-up. We did championship 2, blah, blah, blah. It was 800 Robux total. I could afford it, and I probably can still. It's pretty easy to do it. So you have them posted up behind in the background. You can see all the Robux that'd be put it out. If I was in a championship race, the other driver would get the total amount of first and second place, if that makes sense. Because obviously I can't give myself Robux whenever I already have a Robux that I'm supposed to be giving out. So yeah, that's pretty much the championship payout. The Diecast series in DRL has multiple different series. There was a lot more. There was Banana, Willie, Ed, but now we just have Dino, Tony, and Slidejob. They all have their own little diecast thingies. Just it sparks creativity and sharing everything with everybody else in the server. It's pretty fun to do. Tony does it off camera. Sometimes I'll do my races off camera. I kind of lost all the history, but I still got some of it back. Slidejob, he's kind of dead. He doesn't post so much, but pretty fun.
The I don't know how to say this, but like, man, y'all see it on the screen, right? The Walking Glen scandal, okay? That references I believe it was a season 3 race, at Walking Glen, Walking Glen. Well, I don't know that, okay? At the Glen, okay? Um, the setup for Just Daytona, it's kind of a little buggy sometimes, but especially here, it was very buggy here. Um, I didn't get the setup apparently, so my car was basically like completely and utterly destroyed. So I start, rightfully complaining about it to Dino and Banana, and they're like saying, "Oh my God, Tony, get better, Tony, get." No, I'm not gonna get better. My car ain't gonna get better, but my car gotta get better. Okay, and no one's talking about me getting better. I mean, I can't. The car won't drive. Okay, like the buffoonery they were on about me, trying to say, "Oh, Tony, get it down." They were rage baiting. So I eventually got them to reset the server. Okay, so when the server reset, you wanna know what happened? Everybody's setup got broken. So we basically had to cancel the entire race. We had like what, 5 good laps of racing before we actually like reset the entire server, and then the entire setup that I had transferred to everybody else. And then they were complaining about me ruining the race. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Seep references whenever Waffle mistyped something. I think he meant swap whenever it was, but it's become a whole entire meme now. Like, everyone started using Seep and all this. It happened, I believe, in a COT race at Michigan, and everybody started picking it up. Seep, 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 just constantly just saying that all the time. It became a pretty popular meme for around like a couple months. It's pretty dead now, I guess. Project 24 references the project car on Krypton Racing, which would be the number 24. It hosts a couple different manufacturers, I believe Cadillac, Dodge, Honda, which we'll get into the Honda later, but in the background here you can see that he won at Atlanta in the Project number 24 car. It was a really, really cool thing for Banana to do. He had different drivers in it, a couple races. He'd race himself. He more won it as himself, but it's a pretty fun thing to have in DRL. The return of Honda came with the Project 24 car, like we just discussed, and it was a pivotal moment in DRL because Honda had not been in victory lane, I believe, since season 2. I don't know when the last Honda win was, because my team was Honda, and I had a couple good drivers on that team that we'll get into later, but they had their own scandals and stuff, but pretty cool. The first female winner in DRL was Lily, and it came at the Daytona 500 in season number 4. It was pretty shocking. At the finish, you can see there's 2 cars upside down, one in the grass, one spinning. It was a pretty chaotic race. It took a girl 375 races to win a race in DRL, mainly because of the less of women drivers in DRL. But Lily was a really good driver in DRL. She had a couple wins in there. She had truck wins, ARCA wins. I don't know if she ever got a Cup or Xfinity win. I do not know.
backwards tandem drafting references to when a car gets reversed, saying like a spin or they just got loose off the turn. It's very risky to save it, especially in the new Puma update. So you could just choose to just stay backwards. You could just choose to stay backwards and go backwards. And tandem the draft works when you're going backwards too. So you could technically just go backwards the entire race, or even draft while going backwards. So a lot of shenanigans over there, buffoonery, especially at the drafting tracks like Talladega and Daytona. Oh man, it's raining hard outside. Yeah, man, that's really hard raining.
Yeah, Ozzy season 4 Daytona 500 scandal is whenever Ozzy won the season 4 Daytona 500 in a photo finish over Plushie, as you see in the top right corner of all the pictures. But in that video, I didn't save the video because I'm stupid, but I accidentally had sent Ozzy underneath the line, and he spun it, but he saved it. He had enough time to come back up, but he didn't, and full sent up into the corner into turn number 3 and wrecked somebody, which that kind of sparked a little investigation or something. Nothing really happened though. Ozzy kept the win. Texas references when we had to make up a new entire race and track after the Watkins Glen incident. We already got past that part. We explained it, but we had to race at Texas in the dirt. It was pretty fun because the old setup, it was like more of like a late model modified. You could like drift in the corners and stuff. It was pretty similar to Kansas. And we even did a dirt Kansas race later on, I believe in the off season between season 3 and 4. We'll get into that later, I believe. But it was pretty fun. There was even a free wide photo finish in Cup.
The power rankings references the, power rankings that Donna would do at the end of every race for about 3 months. It was a short-lived little thing. There was a little bit of a revive for a sec, but we haven't done it in a while. It's practically dead by now. The power rankings just gave a little bit of recognition to people who actually led laps throughout the race or did some pretty good moves because it's pretty much like anything's possible on the last lap. Yeah. By the way, between you and me, I've been saying that a lot, but between you and me again. I scored number 1 or number 2, out of 5 on that power ranking, about 50% of the time, like all the time I was in the first position on the second, but I know for a damn fact I had the best average in the power rankings, okay, which is why I'm the GOAT, better than Donna, better than Banana.
The free wide Atlanta plushie upside down finish references the stage 1 finish at Atlanta in Gen 4 when plushie was upside down and we were free wide at the line. I forget who got the win. I believe it was Tony. I forget. But plushie was upside down. He got third in the stage. And it was immaculate how he flipped over and finished it upside down. The 11 overtime attempts, I can't even speak about it. It happened November 24th, 2024 at Kansas in the Cup Series. 11 overtime attempts. It took these buffoons, the entire Cup field, and all these buffoons to finish a race. It took 11 overtime attempts. I finally won the race, and there was another race where I believe it had 9 overtime finishes, and it was at Indianapolis in Xfinity. We are on to layer number 5, which is season 3 knowledge. Plushie Jr. wins and deaths references the death and wins of Plushie Jr. Plushie Jr. was at that time the only son driver to race, and he was also the only son driver to win a race. And he won at Martinsville and ARCA. I'm pretty sure had another win somewhere else, but he got in a very horrific accident in his number 86 Chevrolet for Plushie Motorsports at Talladega, where he flew into the catch fence in a massive wreck, shot back down into the middle of turn 3, on the bottom of turn 3, and he got injured. And he was said to race at Dover within the following weeks after that, but he was somehow illegally passed to race at a Daytona race where he was spun by Banana and flipped down the back straightaway and hit the catch fence, and he died from his injuries at Daytona in ARCA. He was a really good ARCA driver. He has 2 wins. Obviously said that Martinsville win. He was probably an upcoming phenom before his injury and ultimately demise. Banana was almost tried for murder, but nothing really went through. It's still a pending trial to this day. Terry was an alt account to Tony, I believe around season 2, end of season 2 to season 3, somewhere around there. He just had Terry as that. He also had changed his username on Roblox to Terry for Yo Man or whatever. It was basically just an alt account for Tony. Big Man was a upcoming driver, season number 3 of DRL. He started out really strongly. I believe he won 2 Daytona 500s, 1 in truck and 1 in ARCA. He may have won Xfinity something. I don't know. I don't remember. He mustered up 6 total wins at his time in DRL. He departed because of something in ARCA at Watkins Glen with Tony, season 3. Forget what it was. I think he was mad because he was getting full sent or something. But Big Man was pretty much Connor Zilic of his time in DRL. It's pretty much just Connor Zilic. He was winning multiple races, which 6 races at that time was pretty unheard of because there was only 3-4 series run every other day. So it was pretty insane of how much he was winning and how quick and good he was on the racetrack. He was pretty fun to race against. He even made the truck templates for the league at that time. Ben references the driver of the number 24 for a team made by Fury or Mr. Chicken, I forget, in early season 3. He was alongside Big Man. They were teammates, actually. And Ben got 3 wins total in his time at DRL. He was really good. He had a couple Xfinity wins, 2 to be exact, and a Gen 4 win, which was at Daytona for the Daytona 500 in season number 3. And he also won a Lego Derby race, which is something we did in the off season. The Texas races, there's really not much to say. It was just a weekend whenever, I believe, I think we did just Daytona, and then Pumu had something with it. Texas was kind of a mid-track. The first ever inaugural race had Monkey winning it in Gen 4. There was a photo finish in Xfinity where I believe Redline got it over Fury or something. It's kind of just a mid-track until Pumu added it, and we had that dirt Texas race with, after Watkins Glen scandal. It was fun track when it was dirt, because you could slide around, but now the setup's kind of screwed. But hopefully this season number 5, it'll be better. The Xfinity Pocono race references season number 3, the 300th race at Pocono in DRL. Not like Pocono had the 300th overall race, but it was the 300th total race in DRL. I dominated, led 42 out of 45 laps, and it's on here because of how clean it was, and there wasn't many wrecks. It was really, really clean, and it was a really, really fun race at that time, and I got it done to win the 300th overall race. The Redline rookie season, it was insane because of how good he was, how much he was winning. It was season number 3. He won 2 or 3 championships in ARCA, trucks. I don't know if he had a 3rd championship. I do not know. But it was insane how much he was winning. And that's why he was glazed so much. And now he got the Cherokee curse and he is kind of dead. And he hasn't showed up to many races.
Qualifying references, qualifying, which we used to do during the early days of Season 3. I particularly remember we did it at Kansas, which I got the pole for. I think we only did for ARCA and Gen 4, which I got the pole for both. And then after that, we just stopped doing it. It did get a V5 recently during Season 5, during the Down 500, which I should have won, by the way. And I also got pole for it. Well, so I'm just saying. Yeah. So, hope we do it more often. It shows the consistency of lap time for drivers. And yeah, a little pretty fun thing,
The new templates is whenever we started to add custom names of the series and stuff to it. We added DRL logos on it. And something that was really, really funny, I realized, is we made our cup templates with the DRL logo on it. And somehow those got distributed out into the actual Pumu and Just Daytona servers. And I've seen people actually use our old DRL cup templates for their own league. It's pretty funny how those got distributed and are still out there somehow. Leveland retirement references whenever Leveland, who was a really, really good driver, he was a really chill driver, he retired July 14th of 2025, and it was kind of a sad moment, but he was inducted to the Hall of Fame, and it was just a pretty weird moment. He just randomly decided to retire. He was a really, really good driver for his time.
Yo, this is my 15th take. I'm trying to record this. My bad, Dino. Anyways, the 13 people races were, they were embarrassing, to say the least, okay? Come on. That was, the height of DRL. We had people like Mr. Chicken, Banana Me, Dino, Strawberry, who somehow won, during that weekend. 13 people racing at Just Daytona, Texas. We even had 11 overtime, which was the DRL world record, and still is the DRL record. And what? Yeah, I'm not doing another takedown, okay? Yeah, this is gonna be my last one. Not world record, just record, I'm not doing another take, okay? Yeah, anyway, those things were embarrassments and they should be forgotten. The lag was insane too, so yeah.
Tony's AI cats references all of the AI cats he had randomly, like whenever he joined around season 2, and he had them on a ton of different schemes and stuff. But I only found one. I know there's a ton more out there somewhere in the server, but I only just found this one. Layer 6 has season 2 knowledge of DRL.
Oh man, Banana's first races, I remember it like it was 2 years ago because he was so unk. Yeah, so Banana's first races, I believe they were at Dega in Texas, but those were his first races, So, I guess I'll go into a little bit in depth with that. Dega, he drove the '08 Sprite Ford car, for Arca, which was a expedition series back then in season number 2. It was late season number 2. I don't know if I said season number 3 like earlier, but yeah, it's season number 2. If I said that, late season number 2. That race, he did pretty good. I think I did have a little one in with him. I think it was first race too. He did pretty good. And then we moved on to Texas, which was in just Daytona. And that race, he was a fucking dummy. He was a meanie, bro. Like, I swear he whacked me 6 or 7 times, okay? Like, that guy, oh my god, he was my enemy for, like, life, okay? Like, I'm telling you, those first maybe 5 races with him, me and him, we were, like, going on a married couple. The Tony Homestead scandal, Oh, no, I wonder what Tony did, Okay, so, final lap of Homestead, it was the final lap right after the line, okay? It's a laggy track, okay? There's lots of rubber banding, okay? Like, I'm just saying this from my view, okay? There's a lot of rubber banding, okay? The incident in turn number 1, that was on accident, okay? Because, like, it was rubber banding. I thought it was clear, so I moved under. I ended up accidentally turning the 45, and the 45 flipped over, nearly went over the fence, and, got mad, left the league. My bad, okay, bro, it's lag, okay? And Nick and Dino over here battling for the league. Third place was behind them. I forgot who they were, because, like, they left, my bad. We come to turn number 3, okay? On the backstretch. It's just Daytona, okay? So when I go, low, like, I try to go low, like, make a pass for third, the car doesn't stick, and it just goes up. It's what I believe happened. It might have been a steering incident because just Daytona, the buttons were pretty small. I may have like accidentally misclicked and not hit the button, or it's just really laggy. My car basically just went straight into the other guy, hit the quarter panel, and like it ruined our races. And then Nick and Dono had a little battle for Homestead. And yeah, I kind of got banned. I think I got banned. I look, kind of forgot. Tony Xfinity Championship was the pinnacle of DRL. It was a season 2 Xfinity Championship. You got the goat, the handsome, the muscular Tony Meows over here in his matching little scheme with his little friend Chicken, Mr. Chicken. Okay, they had matching schemes. It was, I believe, the King and the 48, because those were our 2 numbers, 42 and 48. So we did a little mix-up matchup scheme. Yeah, we just did that. Coming to the line, it was in the driveway. I thought Mr. Chicken had it in the bag. However, for whatever reason, this back marker, who I don't even remember, but thank the Lord, they were the number 26, coming to the driveway, they bumper locked with Mr. Chicken. Mr. Chicken, like, came back up into him. They both, like, that shit was like Donnie Allison, I don't even know what's fake, hell y'all, bro. Those two were, like, moved up the racetrack. And, I thought they would wreck, so, I moved down into the grass a little bit, to avoid a wreck. By the way, yeah, I just moved in the grass for no reason. Yeah, I just moved into the grass, because, I thought they would, wreck. And I got, like, I didn't move all the way in the grass, I went, like, in the driveway area, but it was still a little bit in the grass, okay? Where the apron was, very near the apron. Yeah, okay, I thought they were gonna wreck, okay? Like, they were being buffoons over here, like, battling each other for, like, a win and a championship, which I don't know why the other guy was there, but yeah, Mr. Chicken got screwed, and I won the championship. I won the championship, bro. Pinnacle of DL, okay? Yeah, season 2 Xfinity Championship at Daytona. Oh, Mr. Chicken, oh bozo, bro. The ARCA photo finish streak references whenever the exhibition series at the time, ARCA, would have a photo finish for almost every single race it had for 15 straight races. And Tony broke that streak at Kansas. It was kind of sad because
of how much races were ending in photo finishes in ARCA. ARCA is definitely one of the best series we've ever had in DRL. Gen 4 is a close second, but still, ARCA back then was really, really fun. Tony's first ever win came at Indianapolis in the Cup Series in July of 2024, and it was a really pivotal moment for Tony. I believe it was like one of his first ever starts, like first top 5 starts he did in DRL. And I'm pretty sure he also won the truck race at Indianapolis too. And we'll get to that later throughout the Iceberg. But it was first ever win for Tony. And Jaden was a original Season 1 driver, founding father of DRL. He was kind of a mid driver. He didn't get that many wins. I believe his one and only win, as you see in the background, was at Watkins Glen in COT. It was his only ever win. He was kind of just mid driver throughout his career. And he more towards the end of his career, he liked to just skip up the races and play anime games the entire time.
Okay. Dwiz, that guy, absolute GOAT! Drop it the number 44 Toyota for Janky Junkie Meow Racing. That guy, he did whatever I tell him to, okay? That guy, he'd win whenever I tell him to. That guy, I don't even know he was a guy. He never spoke. He might be in a gal, okay? Like, I was scrolling on TikTok. I saw he won an FPRU, Season 7 championship. Okay? I'm scrolling on TikTok again another day. I see him winning another championship in another league. That guy was the GOAT. Winner of the, season number 4, maybe season number 3, Daytona 500. Might be season number 4. But, yeah, that guy, absolute GOAT. He'd do whatever I tell him to, okay? Goofy? Nah, he wouldn't. Adam? Maybe. But Dwiz? Nah, that guy, oh my god, but a GOAT, by the way.
Adam was a driver of a number 84, is seen in the background. Not really much to talk about. He had some horrible flip in the return to Coca-Cola Super Speedway in the Cup Series. I mean, that's pretty much all. He's just kind of a random driver. He was on Tony's team for a little bit in Season 2, and then was kind of just stagnant and didn't do anything for a long time.
Okay, so Lil Monster Dude, I believe this is in Season 2, may have been Season 3, but he was a young and upcoming rookie in ARCA, who I really wanted on my team, because, I'm a team owner. I was, way over him, seeing, the talent in Jeff Gordon. He left, but, yeah, my bad. So, yeah, I really wanted him on my team, but, that's just me, okay? That dude, he got 1 win, and he also had a photo finish with me at Charlotte, where I barely edged him out.
Just Daytona references. Wow, Season 2, all throughout Season 2, a lot of races in that were run in Just Daytona. Season 3, there's still Just Daytona races, but more in Season 2 because of, other tracks. Season 3 was a big popularity jump with Just Daytona races, but we still use Puma as our main one. And we do not use Just Daytona. We didn't even use it at all with Season 4, and we are not going to use it in Season number 5. Nick versus Daytona references in Season number 2 in the Daytona 500 in COT and truck. He, would sell in the final corner. In COT, he spun out and gave the win to Plushy, and he did the exact same thing for a truck race and gave it to me. I think I won the Season 2 Cup not championship, but the Daytona 500. And I don't think Nick sold there, but Nick just started selling at Daytona after winning a lot at Daytona. We'll get into that later. And yeah, he used to be really good at Daytona. And in Season 2, he just started selling. Adrian is, I believe, a driver that was on Tony's team in Season number 3 for a little bit. I didn't like him because he was kind of annoying and a douche, but there's really nothing else about him. I can't even find anything more than me getting mad at him, so I don't really have anything about Adrian. Goofy references the driver that raced the number 34 on Tony's team. He got his first ever career win in a truck series at Charlotte, in this picture you see. And then he made the biggest change. He went to Chill Froggies Racing in a number 7 and got a win, I believe, at Pocono in Xfinity in a number 7 Reese's car. And it was a pretty big moment because he swapped from one powerhouse team in Janky Junkie, Meow, Autowear, blah, 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 to Chill Froggies. Chill Froggies, one of the most winningest teams of DRL, and Janky Junkie, close second up there. The Goober 500 it kind of references a part where you could get a Goober roll if you were to win a race. I think the first ever mention of it was at Homestead, where Pushy won it in the Goon Lives Matter car, and it was a race you can just get a Goober roll or something, and then we made Goober of the Year. It was just a whole entire thing back in late season 2 into season 3. Plushy's season 2 Truck Series Championship picture, it's just straight lost media. I have nothing about it, so I just kind of used a picture of him winning at Atlanta, and Atlanta was not the championship track. I'm pretty sure it was Daytona or something. We do not have a picture. It's completely lost the history of his win picture. I feel like I could find it though, and then like it wouldn't have no purpose being on the Iceberg. Crack references a driver on another driver's team. It was just a little small team. He won, I believe, 2 or 3 races, and his first ever race was a Truck Series race at Atlanta, and there's pretty much really nothing else to say about him. He was on Big Peanut's team, which is who we're going to get into next. Big Peanut is a driver of a number 51, was a driver of number 51 between season 2 and season 3. He got a couple wins, was really good in ARCA, and brought a new manufacturer to DRL in Holden. I forget what it is. I know it's like some sort of Chevy type manufacturer, but he brought that to DRL and had Crack on his team, like we just discussed, and some other drivers, and he's also Hispanic. He was second ever Hispanic driver to get a win in DRL.
The Florida Man car, okay, man. The Florida Man car was a rocket powered car, Gen 6 car that had a WAMP on it. Yeah, that's about it. However, there's some controversy with it, I got mad at Jonak, doing Dover, maybe in just Daytona, because he may have wrecked me, So I may or may not have gone the Florida Man car, and may or may not have gone backwards in the field and hit him. May or may not, Also may or may not have done that a few more times on other tracks, because I got mad at, I think, Banana or Dino. So, yeah, my bad.
Layer number 7 of the DRL Iceberg is miscellaneous events. The IRO 5 championship was won by Plushy. It was the end of season number 2. IRO 5, it was a fun series, but it was really, really sensitive with the cars, because obviously it's open wheel, and you know how DRL drivers are, especially season 2 with Tony. So it was just a random race. We decided, no playoffs or anything. This is going to be all for the marble, and Plushy won it. Milk was a driver who came in for one race and won. I forget what the track is. I'm pretty sure it's just Daytona. You can see in the background. I don't know what track it is, but he won in number 25 truck. I don't know what start it was, but he only raced for a few races and then just died.
Yo, guys, so Donald's gonna explain Toad Jr., but, before he does that, Toad Jr. is an absolute menace to society. I absolutely hate that guy.
Thank you, Tony, but Toad Jr. is the adoptive Toad of Banana, and he races the number 81 as a part-time thingy. Well, used to, but he did not have any wins. He was in contention for some races. I'm pretty sure he was in contention at Kansas, where Tony punched him because they wrecked to the line. And Atlanta, in ARCA, he got wrecked on the last lap down the back straightaway by Ozzy, which was his teammate. But Toad Jr., kind of just a toad, it doesn't really do much. Coca-Cola Super Speedway, I would say, in season 1, it was second race of the season, and really there was like no rules, there was no merging stuff or any of that. The start we did 5 wide for some reason, we all died because of the banking, and it was kind of just a hated track after that, and we got rid of it and then never did it again until season 3. Plushy got injured at Atlanta after a terrifying and horrible accident where his car decided to pop, jump off the asphalt, hit the catch fence, catch fire, rip the car, debris scattered everywhere, and caught fire. It was really, really scary. A couple fans were dead. Plushy was in critical condition and then died later on. The 200th race took place at Atlanta, March 3rd, 2025, in Gen 4, and Plushy won it. It was the 200th overall race in DRL, and pretty good moment for Plushy, winning at Atlanta, even though he kind of died there, I think, the very next race. Fill-in drivers were just drivers that were either people that couldn't make every single race or just didn't want to race every single race, and if somebody couldn't race, then they would just fill in for them, and that's pretty much what they were. The DRL news article references every other race, or well, actually after every race between 2025, like during that year, Dino would make the news article for every single race, like on like wrecks, finishes, stuff like that. It was revived a little bit and then kind of just got rid of it again. Obviously, we already covered Big Peanut, but Peanut was the son of Big Peanut. He didn't make actually any races or anything. It was just like some stupid bot in the server. That's pretty much who Peanut was. David references a driver, a founding father of DRL, one of the first people to race in season number 1. He won the Coca-Cola Super Speedway race, the second race of season 1, and also was the first ever Hispanic driver to win a DRL race.
Okay, Jonah, that guy, man, that guy was kinda, empty in the head, Last time he was in DL, like, all the way back in the beginning of season 4, in Texas Dirt, he killed Banana, in a brutal, in a murder, like, absolute murder scene. Yeah, I don't know how he's like in outside of Pumu, but he in Pumu, just Daytona, like it doesn't really involve that much skill and all, like just Daytona and Pumu, but it also like involves some knowledge of like the game mechanics, like or whatever game mechanics there are in like Pumu. But yeah, that guy, yeah, I hate him, bro. He wrecked me like 68 times, like in my career. Yeah, well, I don't talk about him, okay? Like, that guy sucks, okay? Like, ask Banana, ask Dino. Yeah, he sucked, okay? Tony's children, okay? My kiddos, I'm real proud of them, even though they all died. But, well, rest in peace, my kids, okay? Them kids. Yeah, Tony's kids references the, kids Tony had with the, Total Bot. Yeah, I just saw the Total Bot, and the next thing you know, I had 9 children, okay? I had 2 of them were my favorite, okay? Tony Meowies Jr. and Tony Meows Jr. That's the first one, and the one that smoked weed. The one that smoked weed, pretty chill, actually talked. The other ones were mute because, a Toto and like a Tony don't go well together. So yeah, the others were kind of like mute. It's really just those 2 who like pretty chill. Luna was also pretty chill, Yeah, I believe Luna and then 2 other ones died in a car crash, that I accidentally caused, I drove off a cliff when I was, like, drinking some booze. Tony Meows Jr., I think he just passed away of, like, a stroke or something. It's like, he was just gone one day. He might have just, like, ran away or something. I don't know. The other one, the autopsy said he died of dysentery. Another one, was also stroke. I believe the last 2, one was, one I went over, And the other one, I believe I may have beaten to death after I got mad at it. My bad. So, yeah, rest in peace. There's only one alive right now, I'm pretty sure. The, Tony Meowie's Jr., which is different from the, Tony Meow's Jr., but I don't know, it's just, all a little confusing and stuff, but I only know one of them's alive because the rest, are dead, especially my favorite two. Rest in peace, those guys.
Earning all 15 stage points references whenever Nick at Pocono in Gen 4 won every single stage, which got all 5 points for each stage, so he got 15 points, and he won the race, so he got all total points 75 with sweeping Pocono in Gen 4. The free wide Atlanta photo finish scandal references in Cup Season 4 a photo finish between Waffle and Tony. They were sideways coming to the line, under the line actually, and I did not add the line. Usually at Atlanta, you can use the apron like they were, and I forgot to add the photo, the finish line there. And of course, they had to have a really close photo finish with a really bad angle, and we gave it to Waffle because after the thingies we did with the lines, Waffle has the win. Tony says he won it. It's really, really close, and we still do not know who actually won the race, but officially is Waffle. First ever DRL race was a ARCA fun race at Kansas. It was 150 laps, and it was won by Monkey. It was 150 total laps, which it actually went by pretty easily, even though there was a lot of cautions that race. Massimo was the first ever Muslim driver in DRL. He won at Martinsville on March 10th, 2025. And he was also a big fan of the Cars movie, and he would run different Cars schemes and numbers and stuff. In the Martinsville race, he had a Jackson Storm one. Another one, I'm pretty sure he had the Lightning McQueen, prototype, number 57. But yeah, he was pretty fun to have around. He was a good driver, couple wins. 3-digit numbers were introduced in the DRL entrance of Season 3, middle of Season 3, around that, because back then there was a lot of people, a lot of teams had different numbers. They were filling up the 00 to 99, all of that. So we decided to allow 3-digit numbers. Of course, Tony's team was the first one to pick up on that, and I'm pretty sure had the number 343 or 434 or something like that. And we'll get into the driver later on. The DRL logos references all of the DRL logos we've had since the inception of DRL and until now. The one we have now, we've kept since January or February of 2025, and it is really cool. I do like the green and blue gradient. That's probably my favorite color combination, so that's why it's still the logo to this day. Dirt Kansas references the dirt race we did at Kansas, like what we said earlier in Iceberg. Old Pumu before the update. Kansas was really slidey, so was Texas. That's why we did Texas Dirt, and we copied the idea over to Kansas. And we also did heat races and stuff like you saw in the first clip, and it was a pretty fun event. I only did the final main event, which was fully around the track, and the eventual winner was the number 14 of Easton, and also this is where John Eck was killing Banana on the last lap. Layer 8 is very unknown events of DRL. IRL 5 Talladega finish references the closest DRL photo finish at that time. It was insane. Nick got killed on the last lap, and it came down to Plushy and Jaden at the line. Plushy barely edged out Jaden for the win in a very laggy photo finish, I'd say. And it was a pretty cool moment. It was first recorded photo finish, and it was the closest photo finish of DRL. The Fury scandal, I kind of forget it a lot, but he was kind of a jerk a little bit towards the end of his career, and it was a bunch of stuff with him being rude to me, Tony, a bunch of other people, and he got other people to join his league, which we'll get into that stuff later. I think it's on this list, but it's very forgettable, but that's kind of why it's very unknown, because I low-key forgot what it was.
Total Meows, it was my wife. We had like 9 or 10 kids together. I keep forgetting the last one. No one cared about that one. Um, yeah, so she kind of died after I accidentally beated her to death. My bad. I did try to revive her. We managed to do that, but she was like in a vegetative state, like not vegetative state, yeah, but actually vegetative state. And I had to transfer her soul to my league, and you kind she kind of like had a reset, so she was speaking French.
The free wide Daytona ARCA finish was another one. It was a photo finish, free wide in the grass. And of course, it had to be a weird angle that I just so happened to have my camera at that time. And it was very, very close. And to this day, we still don't know who won because this is the only frame we have of the entire, wreck. Well, not wreck, for finish. I'm stupid. But yeah, this is the only picture we have. It's grainy, and we don't know who actually won. I don't even know what cars are which because they're both red, and I think there's like a one car in the middle. I don't know anything anymore about this. There's only this one picture, and that was it. The Coda races, there's really only two things I found, which are COT and Cup races. I won COT, and Waffle, his first career win was at Coda in the Cup Series with a Nickelodeon sponsor, and Pushy congratulated him on this win, first career win on a road course nonetheless, and it sparked a really, really good time for Waffle in season number 2. And Coda, it was only just Daytona for that one race weekend because I have found nothing else other than just these two pictures of the win. The Tesla manufacturer references when there was an idea or something floating throughout that we should have a Tesla manufacturer, because for some reason COT was just a testing ground for templates or something, because there was Supra, Nissan, and there was talks of Tesla. I for real thought there was a template out there that we did try to use, but we never did use it, so it's just kind of lost media now.
On the last Gen 6 race, it took place on July. Actually, yeah, that's July. That's July. Okay, so July 19th, 2024 was the final Gen 6 race of DRL. In my opinion, also was the final era of, just the final, just mark the end of an era, that old period of DRL, marking transitioning into the golden age of DRL. So we had the old age and then the golden age, and then we just kind of fell off there from there. But yeah, this marked the end of the old age, starting to the golden age of DRL. My opinion, very meaningful win. It was a great race too. I don't even remember what happened. I just remember yelling and screaming, oh, I won, because yeah. I was in the league previous, but I hadn't been able to get a win, but winning this was pretty special.
The 100th race was actually that ARCA finish that we just previously talked about, and I was actually the 100th race winner. That was the call or something. I'm pretty sure that we did a full review of a clip or something and determined by the back bumper of the cars, and they gave me the win. It was just voted by them because I had it just a little tiny bit further. I will be doing research. Hopefully I can find an actual clip or an out photo of this because it's way too grainy like I previously said about it. So yeah, I won the 100th race in ARCA on this photo finish. It's kind of crazy. The first ever Dodge win was actually won by me. It was a Watkins Glen race in season number 1, and I just found a random scheme. I didn't even know what tempo it would fit on because it was a Dodge, and I just used a Ford. It fit the best. I just randomly found it in the Just Daytona server or Puma server, I don't know, and I just used it and I won, and it was the first ever manufacturer Dodge win, and it was actually a pretty cool moment.
The Civil War, I can't say war because I don't know, I just can't say it. Yeah, y'all see that, right? The silver thing, you know. Yeah, it's just a bunch of rules that you gotta adhere to, or else you're gonna get in troubles, you know. Because like if you don't follow the rules, that means you're a meanie, and you bully people. So yeah, it also like applies to NSFW, because like that's very bad, guys. Like don't do that. The swear filter was a era, very dark period of the L where we cannot swear. Like type it out because like we'd get instantly like banned. Well, not banned, like timed out. So like for like an hour or two. It was a very very dark time. Donald implemented it because of somebody. I forgot who, but yeah, he implemented it, and yeah, we got like we got like in trouble because like I couldn't say the F word after Jonak whacked me. Yeah, Donald, why'd you add that word? Like,
The DRL Discord creation references whenever DRL's Discord server was first created. It was created Wednesday, April 17th, 2024. And the original group chat thingy we'll get into later. I think we might have already gotten through it. I do not know. But that one, I believe, was made March 22nd, 2024, which that was actually the first ever race of DRL was March 22nd, 2024. Caramel Buttersticks was the first ever three-digit number driver, and he raced at Atlanta for, I believe, just that race. He led a lap, which was the first ever three-digit number to lead a lap. It was a pretty cool thing for Tony to have a three-digit number on his team, because I'm pretty sure nobody else did. Maybe Chill Froggies, I do not remember, but it was pretty neat how there's a three-digit number in DRL that actually raced. The fastest 45-lap race ever completed came at Bristol in Gen 4, and Massimo, who won that race, in a number 57. Like we talked about him before, he was a big Cars fan, and this was his number 57 McQueen prototype car or whatever. But fastest ever race, Bristol, 16 minutes. Negative numbers refers to whenever Pushy Jr. Avoiding illegal action with Janky Junkie Racing, he used a negative number 45 instead of a 45, and he raced, I believe it was Martinsville in Gen 4 with an SML negative 45. It was pretty neat seeing a negative number in the field, especially a young and upcoming driver. RIP for Pushy Jr.
Plan Z, okay. Plan Z was a Janky Junkie code, one of many, to wreck the entire field. Plan Z was actually used many times. Yeah, I'm snitching on myself, but yeah, I used it many times. A notable incident was at Atlanta where Goofy used it. Well, under my command, he used it. I believe it was Goofy, it might be Fury, but Goofy used it to you know, essentially like caused an incident. Had a caution. I don't even think we won, but yeah, Plan Z. Yeah, we definitely use that a lot. Okay.
Layer 9 takes us to the forgotten drivers of DRL. The first of the forgotten drivers is Martin. There's not really much to say about him, except for he raced a lot. He was kind of rude and getting a lot of arguments and stuff. And he also finished runner-up in the Season 3 Daytona 500 in the Cup. Succo, whoever you say it, I don't know. He raced on Crichton in a number 67, and that's pretty much about it. There's nothing else I could find about this guy. Pan, didn't win any races. Drove the number 84 and I think 87 or something on Legacy Racing, and then I believe made their own team. I don't know. I dug up something about like somebody saying that Pan owned 87 or something. I do not know. There's pretty much nothing else I could find about Pan. Buckeye drove the number 13 Chevy, Toyota, whatever, and he got his first ever win at Texas in a truck series and his second ever DRL start, which is pretty neat. He mustered up 2 wins over his career, and I believe was kind of like a dirty driver, and people didn't really like him that much. Cody refers to the driver of number 69 Ford, and later out for his career, he made his last ever start at Pocono in a number 77 Ford. I forget the sponsor was, but that was his last ever race in DRL, which was over, I think, like 7-8 months ago. And that's pretty much about Cody. Liam was a Season 1, Season 2 driver in DRL. He was kind of stagnant and didn't race for like a season. Came back and made his own team in the truck series for Dodge, and he drove a number 9 once again. He drove a number 9 or 99 or whatever for most of his career after Season 1. Season 1, he drove a number 10. He mustered up over 7 wins in his career. His last ever win was at Kansas in the truck series and a free wide photo finish. Logan mustered up around 4 wins in his career. I believe his last or first win, I don't know which one it was, I'm pretty sure it was first win, was in number 22 at Charlotte. He is a big fan of Logano, which is why he raced the number 22 a lot, and used Pennzoil as a sponsor most of the time, and pretty chill guy, actually. Tesla drove the number 42 on Tony's team, and he finished second at Homestead behind Nick. It's kind of weird because he did like a few races and then kind of just dipped, and he was on Tony's team for his entire career, which is like only a few races, and that's pretty much all I could find about Tesla. Godzilla, I could not really find anything about him. I legit totally forgot about this kid. I think I found out because he was the last driver out of the 15-car Texas race. Like, in that one picture, he's like the last one. He drove a Ford or whatever. I totally forgot about him, and I don't have anything on him, so that's Godzilla. Timeless is kind of like Godzilla. I do not have, like, really anything about him. I believe he raced Krypton in a 19 for, like, Gen 4 or something. I think that's what I remember of him, because there's really nothing else I have on him or any schemes or anything, so, yeah, it's pretty much it. Eric was supposed to pilot the number 29 Ford Fusion in COT. He actually never made a start. He may have started in the Season 1 Daytona 500. I do not know if he did or not, but I feel like I have any like recollection of it. I feel like he might have. But he was supposed to drive the number 29 in COT. Mika was supposed to drive this number 39 Ford Fusion COT, Red Bull sponsored. Kind of similar to Eric, he actually never really raced. I don't think he ever made a start in DRL. I think he was supposed to. He might have. I really forget because this is really the only thing I found about him. Joel was an original Season 1 driver. He was also a founding father of DRL. He raced the Season 1 Daytona 500. I believe he complained about it or something, because I really forget what he complained about in the first ever 500, and he didn't really race again after that. He does have a win. It was at Xfinity in Homestead, and it was his only ever win. It was Season 2 or 3, I forget, but he was a good driver at the time, and then just decided to not show up for a ton of races. But yeah, pretty cool. He's also really good friend of me, IRL. So yeah, it's pretty chill, bro. Red Comet, he drove an Xfinity and I believe another lower series a little bit in Season 3. He won at Bristol Xfinity. Do not believe what Tony says, because he thinks that he won at Homestead or Texas or something. But no, his only ever win was Xfinity Bristol. Now we get into Layer 10, which is Season 1 knowledge of DRL. Nix removes wins, references whenever he would be doing like egregious things to get wins, like wrecking somebody or being overly aggressive to people for a win on the last lap and stuff like that, which he got his win removed for it, like a couple wins removed, I think like 2 or 3 removed, and that's pretty much it. The first ever DRL logo was this one you're seeing in the background. It should just be titled oldest DRL logo, but I think I just kind of got mixed up, but this is the first ever DRL logo. Nick, 5-0 at Daytona, references whenever he won the first ever Daytona 500 for every single series. Truck Series, COT Series, Cup Series, ARCA, and Xfinity. And those are like the first ever Daytona 500s, and Nick won all of them. Brian references the Season 1, Season 2 driver. I do not think he ever won a race. He was just kind of there. He was one of the friends of Plushie, kind of like Jaden, who we talked about earlier. Brian would miss a lot of races and stuff, but he did race. He was kind of chill, but kind of dumb and didn't win at all. Super Motorsports references the COT team that had Supras that they would race, and that's pretty much all I could find about Super Motorsports. I forget who owned it. I think it was originally Plushie Motorsports, and then somebody else owned it, and that's pretty much it about Super Motorsports. L&R was Liam Nick Racing, and it pretty much just had Liam and Nick because they both are in the team name. I think maybe Logan raced it, but that was pretty much it. They did sweep Indianapolis road course in every single series, which was pretty cool. Isaac was a driver, end of Season 1, into Season 2. He did a bunch of stupid stuff, and was also the first person to hit the pit barrels at Indianapolis and have a horrible wreck. And he just did some really stupid stuff, and still tries to get into contact with me.
The old damage model refers to the previous damage model Pumu Talladega had before multiple updates. This damage model, while having some problems, was, in my opinion, pretty good, okay? I love, especially the Arca damage model with the roof caved in, like the entire car could get torn up, and it could still drive. That was my only issue, with the new models. I love the damage model and all, but the wheels being Willy Wonka kind of made it annoying, having to respawn your car every time.
The old DRL GC was basically the original way of contact throughout DRL. It was between just me and my friends from school back in late March of 2024. March 22nd, 2024 was whenever we first did the first ever DRL race. It was a Friday. It was really, really neat having, I think 5 or 6 people from my school and, friends I knew racing. It was pretty neat back then. Nick's championship subway car references the scheme that he used in the Cup Series championship. This first clip is Cody wrecking himself on Plushie and ultimately taking them both out of the championship. And we were going around 217 to 220 all the time, and for some reason in the last final laps, I had no draft at all, and I could not catch Nick. But I think the thing is, I wanted Nick to win or something, because we were on the same team. We were both in Honda or whatever. And it was pretty much just a free-for-all for the championship. There was no points or anything. So basically, whoever won that first ever championship was the champion. We did that for trucks and COT as well. And we'll get into the COT championship finish later. But yeah, this was his subway car in the finish to the Season 1 championship. Tony number 51 truck references whenever Tony was actually in the number 51. Obviously, you can see the template is supposed to be a COT car. I really do not know why he used the COT number 51 on a truck, but it counts in the record books as a number 51 finish, because that's the number on the truck. And I'm pretty sure this was his second ever win, because Truck Series used to be after the Cup Series, and Tony's first Cup Series win was at Indianapolis the day before this one. So pretty neat history for Tony. His first ever truck win was actually in the number 51 and not the 43. Dino number 18 references whenever I use the number 18 in Cup and COT. The one you see in the background right now is my Sprite COT car. I do not have any access to any of my schemes from March and early April of 2024, so I can't bring up any more of the 18 schemes. I know they were really, really bad, because those are whenever I started figuring out how to make schemes and upload schemes and stuff. And the Cup was kind of bad. I mean, this COT one, it was kind of good. I might make a throwback to it for 1987 Season 5, but I don't really know. The founding of DRL references the day that DRL was officially founded and the first ever race occurred. I'm pretty sure we made plans and stuff, maybe the 19th. But we do the anniversary on March 22nd, because that's when the first ever race was, and I'm pretty sure that may have been whenever the plans were made out. or something. I don't really know, but we just have March 22nd as the actual day of DRL's founding. Dino's Trident schemes references my schemes that were sponsored by Trident. I do not know if I made any in number 18, and also I switched throughout, I believe, every single manufacturer in DRL at that time. I had Toyota, then I went to Ford, and I had Dodge, then Honda, and then Chevy. Which, I mean, that's another cool thing. It should have been probably on this layer, but I didn't add it, so I'll just mention it now, because most of those I also had Trident sponsored schemes, and this one you're seeing in the background is whenever I had a Ford sponsor, Ford manufacturer, and it was actually number 32 and not number 18. Tsunami references the driver who won the COT Bristol race, and this is also where it references the Goober Award. The Pushy got Goober of the Year or something, that's 5 extra points. I probably should have added Tsunami in the Forgotten Drivers, but I didn't realize that he was in layer 10 and not layer 9 until I uploaded the slide into the video. So and is also another driver who I forgot to add to the Forgotten Drivers list, but then again, he's kind of season 1 knowledge. He raced in season number 1 and was, I think, pretty mid. I'm pretty sure he got second place at Coca-Cola Super Speedway in season 1 for the second race ever. He also raced in the season 1 Daytona 500. He raced multiple races and stuff. He's also a Build a Ship to Survivor's Island creator. Well, there's the Basti reference, so hopefully this video gets 1,000 views, bro. Trust me. But yeah, he was a really good friend of me. Probably still is. I haven't talked to him a lot, but still a really good friend of me for almost 4 or 5 years now. So yeah, pretty cool. I'll link his channel in the description after this video is uploaded, so you can go check out his videos if he has any, because I know he refreshed or whatever. Plushy's suspension references season 1 COT Daytona 500, as you see in the background. I do not know what happened. I think he might have lagged or something, but he came up right in the path of Nick with a couple laps to go or something and wrecked the leader, and that was obviously a suspension. So we gave him a suspension for 1 race, and I'm pretty sure we may have just lifted it because there's only 3 or 4 people now, the starting out days, and we low-key need drivers now, because we have 3 to 4, sometimes not even 4. So y'all should join, bro. Check the description. 11 is Darkness events of DRL. Season 1 COT Championship Scandal refers to this event with overtime. This was before overtime. Nick, me, and Liam all battling for it with white flag, and Liam makes a quote-unquote block, which he just came up and blatantly turned me, and then me and him both spun, almost even flipped, and that was a caution. And then we had a restart, and it was going to be 2 laps, but if a yellow was to come out on that first lap, it would be a yellow overtime checkered. And as soon as I typed it out, I started typing it out, and then Nick comes over and wrecks Liam, hooks Liam, and then as soon as I write it, send it, they both wreck, and so that would be a yellow checkered, right as I said, no more yellows. So Nick was kind of mad about it. He was says that whenever we wreck and stuff. I was not expecting Nick to get mad over that and then come up and hook him on the last lap. So I mean, my bad. We were all going for a championship. Like I said before, it was not for points or anything. It was a free-for-all race for a championship, and everyone wanted to win it. But I wasn't expecting that to happen at all, especially as soon as I said no more yellows whenever I had a chance to type.
The ARCA Atlanta curse refers to the very, very serious cases that have happened at Atlanta during the ARCA series. Of course, you have some of the worst wrecks in DRL history. along with the death of Plushy Jr., the serious injury of Plushy, and my helium death.
Just as you heard Tony talk about his helium death at the end of that, yeah, he had put helium in his gas tank at Atlanta in ARCA, and he had won the race, but after like all like the victory celebrations and all that, he actually died because of all the helium that was in his car that escaped the gas tank and went into the cockpit of the vehicle, and he later died in the hospital like a day later, but he was resurrected and revived before the next race. The strawberry scandal came at Las Vegas, I believe in a truck series, where he was just doing atrocious things and being rude, wrecking people, being overly aggressive. So what I did, I gave the explosion penalty out of turn number 4, and he lost the race to it. And I think Crack might have won that race. I believe we went over him winning, like in truck series or whatever. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that was whenever Crack won the truck series race at Las Vegas, was whenever Strawberry got an explosion penalty for him doing stupid stuff on the racetrack. Mr. Knopf was the driver of the number 15 Chevrolet in the Cup Series, either early Season 2 or late Season 1 at Talladega. And the reason why he's not in Forgotten Drivers is because it's kind of dark around, like, why he left. I think the only reason was because whenever I did the server message, it, like, blurs the screen. Because that, like, was the one thing he said. And he, like, got mad about it and wrecked because of it.
The fire trails were a command that gave, lit drivers on fire. And, it gave, like, a little line to draft on. It was removed during, I believe, maybe early to mid-season 4 due to lag reasons. And it has yet to appear since, other than a fun race one-off appearance.
The Crichton Crybabies were a nickname given to Crichton Racing and Crichton Racing drivers because of how much they would complain about races and stuff like that. It was pretty much just a nickname that was only given to him by Chill Froggies and Chill Froggy Associates. So it was kind of short-lived, but like it was just during a time of DRL where they were like really, really annoying and were whining over like stuff that was happening or whatever and would complain about stuff. The Indianapolis road course was the Roval version of Indianapolis, which is pretty self-explanatory, but that happened because we just needed another road course on the schedule other than, I think, Watkins Glen was on it. I don't know, we'll get into the original Season 1 schedule later on throughout, and it was just a Roval version, and I believe we only did it for Season 1, and it was dominated by Liam and Nick Racing, which I believe we went over that before, and we kind of just scrapped the idea ever since, mainly because now you can't even use it, because Pumu blocked it off, so R.I.P. Indy Road Course. The Tony Files references when Tony was a little youngling, and like he was not like experienced like on time stuff, and he has like a little bit of stupid, like said stupid stuff and all that. He kind of got chased down for it, and that's the Henry scandal references the Henry scandal, and that's it. The Zesty 600 was a race at Charlotte in Hour 05 where Plushy won, and we called it the Zesty 600 because Cody, Nick, Liam, and Logan all had like pink schemes or whatever, and it was a turning point because Plushy had made a name himself in Hour 05. It was a pretty cool event, and everyone was celebrating except for the ones that like lost, and he like had like a turmoil or something where they all started killing each other.
The points betting was a definitely not illegal little underground wing that maybe like I was the main source of. Maybe Dino was also there too. Okay, I swear. And so was Banana. We would like bet like maybe 5-10 points, on some stuff, some kind of stupid stuff. I low key don't remember. Okay, so yeah. The Brookhaven Funways GP was a street circuit that we did in the downtown area of the Brookhaven map. There were, I believe, 3 to 4 competitors. I was there, Don was there, and I'm pretty sure Banana was there. Waffle was also there. Waffle would end up winning the inaugural and only Brookhaven race we have ever had since. In the number 26, and I believe we did them in Beetles.
Tony merging with Liam Nick Racing references when Tony wanted to merge with Eleanor. I believe it never went through at all. So, yeah. The ARCA free wide photo finish with Fury winning was a ARCA photo finish that happened in the grass, free wide. Nobody remembers it. I believe Tony was the only one that remembered it because I was talking about a different one that we already covered on the Iceberg. But Tony was thinking of that one, and we ended up finding that one. And I'm pretty sure nobody else remembered it except for him. So, and Fury won it by a couple inches. It looked pretty much like the Atlanta 2024 finish. The number 65 Coke references a forgotten driver, which it should have been in Forgotten Drivers. Why this was stupid, but he drove the number 65 Dominoes in season 1 or early season 2 because it was a Gen 6 Cup car, and that's what he drove for. I believe he didn't do any other series. He only drove for Cup in a number 65. Now we get into layer number 12 of the Iceberg, the Abyss. Felix was, or is, a made-up character used by Tony for multiple different things. It's kind of in the abyss because not really anybody really knows where Tony came up with this or how Tony came up with Felix. I don't even know what he's supposed to drive or whatever. It's just a fake character made up by Tony.
The money system was a very, very short-lived little war we had in DL. It would later be abolished because, having a money system, with cars and stuff. I believe we started out with about maybe, we started out with a set amount of money. Down just put the thing up on screen. We started out with a set amount of money, and each car would cost certain money, and if we wreck that, we kind of lose that. And in the Premier League slash Just Daytona League, it can get pretty costly pretty quick, and it was just a pretty confusing system. So I don't know why we did it, Dino. The explosion penalty was a penalty where Dino do low command, and your engine would explode, and then you would just die and respawn, not be in the race anymore. I believe we've only had maybe 2 to 3, maybe 4 instances of this happening. I know I've gotten it once, during one of my first, I think it was my inaugural IO5 race at Daytona or Kansas. I know I had it. I was pretty mad at that, we had a little scuffle, and yeah, I believe Dino insert the last time we used it. I'm pretty sure you know it. I don't know it, so just insert it on the screen. The Floyd scandal. So the Floyd bot was a bot that greeted people, just responded to things, just learned off people. It was an AI bot. It could also generate images. And that part kind of intrigued me and Cody. And me and Cody basically just abused that image generator and did some naughty stuff.
DRL copies references leagues that would use the exact same game, just Daytona or Pumu, and would legit steal our points format and this and that, copied channels and how they're listed and stuff. And they were mostly made by Fury and Mr. Chicken. And it was basically just the exact same thing as DRL, but with less people and a little bit more stupid.
The DL Radioactive was a short-lived idea that was rejected by Dino. I suggested it, but this was the old days of DL, maybe a month after I joined, 2 months after I joined, and some people in the VC kind of not me, okay, not me.
The Mr. Chicken scandal was whenever Mr. Chicken got, I believe, 5 to 7 drivers from DRL and made up a bunch of random stuff and started a revolt, like a revolution against DRL, and made them go to his league, which then fell short and died, and they, like, all the drivers came back. The Season 1 Daytona 500 occurred March 22nd, 2024, and I believe we might have had 5 to 6 drivers racing. We had me, Plushy, Nick, Joel, maybe Cody, Liam, and I believe Logan as well racing. Nick would come out on top and win the first ever DRL race.
The Season 1 schedule, which was founded by me, by the way, it was lost media for a long time, until like a week ago, actually. I don't know when this video is going to get uploaded, but I'd say like a week or two. There were many like weird things on that early Season 1 schedule. I believe they had like the Sandy Flat Raceway, the Indy Oval Dirt Race, and generally just like a lot of things. They even had Homestead as a championship, which we didn't do, I believe. Donald like just put the thing up on the screen, you know.
We hope that you guys enjoyed this an hour and 30-minute video going over the DRL Iceberg, going through multiple layers, 12 layers to be exact, of history and events that happened throughout DRL. And we are still building our future, and you should totally join. I will put the link in the description. You should join the league, bro.
Alright, y'all. This marks the conclusion of the Iceberg, you know. Hang on, I'm eating a 5 glass cheeseburger. Okay. That marks the conclusion of the DRL Iceberg. Yeah, y'all should like both join. We need drivers, you know. Yeah, that marks the end, you know.